There's a deadly new epidemic sweeping America. Some call it death by prescription drugs. Others call it pharmacide. Did you know drugs prescribed by doctors are now killing far more people than illegal drugs? Every year, prescribed pills end the lives of close to 50,000 ordinary Americans. And even icons such as Prince, dead from prescription drugs at 57. Michael Jackson, dead at 50. Heath Ledger, dead at 28. More Americans die from prescription drugs than from motor vehicle accidents. More soldiers in our Army die from prescription drug overdoses than actual warfare. And those are just the deaths. Millions more struggle every day with sickening side effects that harm their quality of life. But what if I told you we can deal with this in another way? A better, 100% all-natural way that doesn't make you a slave to expensive and harmful prescription drugs. If you're ready to free yourself and step off the prescription drug hamster wheel, then this will be the most important video you ever watch. And it begins in 3, 2, 1. I was torn from my dreams by the phone ringing. Normally, I don't answer the phone at 4 in the morning, but in my gut I could feel something was horribly wrong. And what I heard on the other end of the line was a million times worse than anything I could have imagined. In fact, after that fateful phone call, my life would never be the same. Reliving this story is like ripping the Band-Aid off a wound, but if it can save just one life, it'll be worth telling you. But before I get back to that phone call, did you know that more than 200 million Americans are taking prescription medications right now? And if you aren't taking a prescription, chances are you will be within the next 12 months. According to a recent study by the UN, Americans are less than 5% of the world's population, and yet we take 75% of the world's prescription medications. My name is Kevin Christensen, and the good news is that in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you a little-known ancient and all-natural solution to prescription medications, giving you the power to quickly and easily reverse many of your illnesses naturally and freeing you from the side effects that are caused by most prescription drugs. And if you have trouble managing your weight, blood pressure, high cholesterol, depression, or diabetes, then what I'm about to share with you could very well save your life. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or how young or old you are. These secrets can work for you. And it doesn't matter if you've tried pills, acupuncture, or other holistic treatments, because this isn't about that. And if you're spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on prescription medication, then you'll definitely want to know this secret. What I'm about to give you is not a treatment. It's not a temporary fix that just covers up the symptoms. I'm talking about all natural health solutions that address most of your ailments at their core, and then reverse your health back to where you were in your young, glowing prime, so that you go from the ranks of the walking wounded to feeling immortal. Imagine the youthful confidence surging through your body as you can exercise and keep up with your kids, or grandkids, or your friends and neighbors, without the constant need to reach into your medicine cabinet for a pill bottle. Now, at last, these natural health solutions are available to regular folks like you and me. I'm going to reveal to you what I consider to be a very unethical relationship between the medical community and the pharmaceutical industry. I bet you didn't know this, but did you know that many doctors are actually receiving financial compensation from Big Pharma to provide you with drugs, even when you don't need it? That's why I believe it's one of the main reasons you're currently on the prescription drug hamster wheel. But now is your chance to break free so that you no longer need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars a month on more prescription medication. Imagine the freedom you'll feel when you can finally throw out the prescription pills, the inhaler, the needles. I believe oftentimes the treatments prescribed to you actually make you sicker and do nothing but simply cover up the underlying health issue that we can fix by simply looking to Mother Nature. Picture yourself filled with a sense of calmness and well-being like you haven't felt in years, knowing you can enjoy any activity without having to worry, and always having that extra energy when you need it. Whether it's to play with your kids, run with your dog, complete that important project, or enjoy some intimate time with your spouse. Yes, one of the many benefits of these natural health solutions is a friskier libido. And you'll do all this without pills, without trips to the doctor, and without painful injections or surgery. So I must urge you to block out all distractions and give me your undivided attention. This really is that important, because I know firsthand how devastating and even deadly the prescription hamster wheel can be, not just for you, but for the people you love most in this world. In fact, it was my own heartbreaking loss that led me on a personal quest to find the truth behind prescription medications, no matter the cost. The funny thing is, in my younger years, I never really had any health problems, partly because many of the conditions people take pills for these days didn't even exist back then. There was no restless leg syndrome, ADD, acid reflux, or any of the other modern ailments that today's doctors prescribe millions of pills for. And the reason for this is a shameful modern-day practice known as disease-mongering. Mind you, this is not some conspiracy theory. Let me give you a direct quote from a peer-reviewed academic journal about this practice. The pharmaceutical industry has found itself under fire from detractors who contend that, in the pursuit of profits, companies are in league with the medical doctors and patient advocacy groups to disease-monger. So what does this mean? Well, normal, everyday human conditions are now being defined as diseases that require drugs. And it's not just Big Pharma. Doctors are often in on this, too. The drug companies spend millions of dollars on advertising to convince the public that their solution is just a prescription away. And in every TV commercial for one of their wonder drugs, they tell you to ask your doctor about it. But most of the time, these drugs will come with side effects, which happens whenever you introduce a powerful foreign chemical into your body. So they come up with more pills to treat the side effects, putting you on another prescription or two and making sure you stay on the hamster wheel. That's why, according to a recent news survey, despite being the richest nation on earth, America is also the sickliest if you go by the amount of prescription drugs our doctors give us. But look, there's no getting around the fact that as we age, we do develop aches, pains, and ailments. It's not the same as in our younger years. I remember leaping out of bed in the morning, rushing off to spend time with my friends, and at night, I had so much energy I couldn't fall asleep, even after I'd been outside playing all day till the sun went down. And remember how much faster we used to heal? If I got scraped up in a skateboard wipeout or came down with a bad case of the flu, I was good as new again in a few days. But now, fast forward to being way past 30, I would have given anything for those same healing powers. And my energy, stamina, and overall zest for life had fizzled out long ago. But I had lots to be grateful for. I had a long-term, stable job that provided me a secure source of income, and I had a very tight-knit and loving family. And just like any family, if any one of us got sick, we'd take them to see the family doctor immediately. We had good insurance through my job, so we always asked for name-brand medicines, no generics for our precious family. But while they were perfectly healthy, I was suffering in silence. I'd been dealing with chronic stomach pain on and off for years, and recently it had gotten so bad there were days I had to call in sick at work and just stay in bed. So I did what most Americans would naturally do. Turned to prescription medication, thinking that it'd make my stomach issues go away. It didn't. In fact, the side effects that came with the prescription drugs were even worse than the pain it was supposed to cure. I constantly felt like vomiting, and there were days where the side effects got so bad I literally couldn't get out of bed. The prescription drugs were also ruining the lives of other people in my family. After my mother was diagnosed with high blood pressure, the medications that the doctors gave her constantly resulted in her feeling lethargic, nauseous, and exhausted. The drugs that were supposed to improve her quality of life were actually sucking away her happiness each time she took another pill. She was also starting to become more moody, emotional, and unpredictable, and just difficult to deal with. She no longer had the energy or desire to participate in family activities, and it really started to put a strain on our family. But those were minor bumps in the road compared to the heartbreaking tragedy that prescription drugs were about to put me through. It began when my best friend since childhood, David, went through a bad breakup and sank into a black hole of depression. I considered him to be my brother from another mother. We were that tight. As with most people who suffered from depression, he stopped taking care of himself, and his health started going downhill. Eventually, we forced him to go see a doctor, who chatted to him for all of 2 minutes and wrote him a prescription for a depression med called Zoloft, and some other pills that would supposedly help boost his immune system. For a while, the meds seemed to help somewhat. David said the Zoloft made him feel fatigued and nauseous, and it made him put on 20 pounds. But at least he seemed to be crawling out of his depression. Until then, in the middle of the night, I was jolted out of my sleep by a phone call. David's family had found his cold, lifeless body. My best friend was dead. The autopsy confirmed his cause of death was due to internal organ failure. Those pills that were supposed to boost his immune system and help him get back on track had been destroying him on the inside. And, as it turned out, this was a known side effect of those pills, which doctors commonly prescribe. The side effect turned out to be 1,000,000 times worse than the cure. I felt like my heart had been torn out of my chest. I didn't understand why no one told us about the dangers. I never imagined that a prescription medicine could actually be deadly. So I began to search the internet for information, and what I found shocked me to my core. Did you know that every year over 100,000 Americans die from correctly prescribed medications? Not because of some strange, unexpected reaction, but from known side effects. Meanwhile, another 1.5 million Americans survive on their medications but suffer debilitating health problems because of them. I found out, according to the original published study for the antidepressant Zoloft, the one David's doctor was so quick to prescribe to him, one of the people in the test group who took the pills attempted suicide. But later evidence showed that the FDA knew about 5 more people in that group who attempted suicide while on the drug. That's when I came to this startling realization, and it is my opinion that our society as a whole has been brainwashed to blindly rely on Big Pharma, often with deadly side effects. In other words, if you get a sickness and instantly think of pharmaceutical drugs, then you've been brainwashed. If you think the only solution is to take pills just to get you through certain seasons and cope with allergies, you've been brainwashed. If you suffer from back pain, insomnia, diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, depression, or asthma, and you think the only solution is a drug or a pill, then you've been brainwashed. If you've ever asked your doctor about a pill you saw in a commercial or in a magazine ad, you've been brainwashed by Big Pharma. In short, I strongly believe if the first thing that pops into your head whenever you feel sick or in pain or anxious or when you can't fall asleep, then you are on the prescription hamster wheel, because your thoughts have now been conditioned to think you need powerful drugs to fight off common ailments before you even give other alternative solutions a chance. Oftentimes, the chemicals in your prescription medications are treating the symptoms, but are not addressing the underlying problem at its core. In a moment, I'll show you why most of these common ailments and so many others are not hard to resolve naturally. But there is so much money being generated through the financial alliance by the pharmaceutical giants and the medical profession that it makes you wonder about the real reason why you've been prescribed a drug. Yes, you heard correctly. In fact, this practice has gotten so out of hand, the United States federal government was forced to enact legislation to require full and frank financial disclosure of the relationship between doctors and Big Pharma. I mean, if the government is implementing legislation to address this issue, then it really makes you think to yourself, do I really need to take this drug? Or am I just being handed it because the doctor is being paid by a drug company to give it to me? And especially after experiencing firsthand what happened to my best friend David, I vowed that my family and I would never be victims to Big Pharma again. There was just no way I was letting them hurt us anymore. So my mother and I threw all of our medications in the trash and got on a health kick. We started with the basics that we'd ignored for so long. We switched up our diet, eliminating all unhealthy foods and sugary beverages. And since alcohol and cigarettes are said to be a big reason behind many ailments, tried to cut that down. But the relief we began to feel from my ailments never lasted. So I continued my research, and I discovered more facts that made me even more angry. Did you know that 80% of doctors in America have taken bribes in some form from a pharmaceutical company? Big Pharma isn't allowed to hand them an envelope of cash, but they have ways of getting around that. They'll send one of their reps to a doctor's office to treat him and his staff to a fancy catered lunch, or give him a free vacation to an event they're hosting at some tropical resort, or appoint him to a paid position with their Big Pharma company so he can act as one of their spokesmen. In return, that doctor is expected to prescribe lots of their latest wonder drug to his patients. And as if that isn't sleazy enough, the reps are usually attractive young women who can charm doctors into recommending Big Pharma's newest miracle pill, the one with a list of side effects longer than your arm. Side effects like the one that killed my best friend, David. I was willing to try anything to free us from the Big Pharma trap, but it seemed impossible to escape. My mother's high blood pressure had gotten so bad that now she constantly needed more time to rest, even though she wasn't even active. So she agreed to follow doctor's orders and some more medication. He told her that the side effects would be minimal, if any, but it was another case of the so-called treatment being worse than the problem itself. My mother began suffering dizzy spells and felt even more weak and fatigued some days, that I had to miss work or go home early to care for her. This was made even worse by the fact that these drugs were very expensive. The bills were piling up. Our financial problems were causing problems in our family, and it was threatening to tear our once close-knit family apart. Every night after my mother had gone to bed, I'd be awake in my room and doing more internet research until I fell asleep from exhaustion, because I knew I had absolutely no other choice. I had to figure out how to get us healthy. Late one night, as I drifted off to sleep, I heard a show come on the TV, something about ancient medicines. They started talking about ancient herbal cures from the Philippines, and this reminded me of my youth. I'd forgotten it by now, but when I was 7 years old, my siblings and I all suffered from asthma. Because we couldn't afford expensive medications at the time, our parents took us to an old man, a natural healer. He prescribed us with some leaves, herbs, and honey. Much to my surprise and delight, it didn't take too long for all of us to naturally recover, and up until this day we are still asthma-free. I had personally experienced firsthand the complete reversal of my asthma through natural methods. So why was I relying 100% on prescription medication? I knew there had to be another way, so I jumped online to research more about natural remedies. That's when I eventually came across a man named Nicholas Culpeper, who was famous for writing a book called Culpeper's Herbal. And the more I read about him, the more I was mesmerized. Because this guy, Culpeper, he devoted his life to debunking the traditional cures recommended by doctors. And he felt the secrets of true natural healing should be accessible to any of us. So he was the first person to translate Latin medical texts into common English so that people could heal themselves. He discovered natural herbs that can solve everything from labor pains to blood clotting, vertigo, even how to eliminate poisons from your bloodstream. Yet somehow I'd never heard of any of these cures discussed on this short program. And what I discovered next made my eyes pop out. Culpeper was exposing these secrets more than 400 years ago. The physicians of his day hated him. They called him a dangerous radical because Culpeper condemned their greed and called them out for their stupid, dangerous practices. I mean, come on. Back then, doctors would attach leeches to your body to try to suck out the disease. No wonder half their patients died. But Culpeper had discovered amazing, all-natural ways to heal the human body of hundreds of different ailments, and he saved thousands of lives. Yet the medical establishment of his day blasted him as if he were promoting witchcraft. For thousands of years, natural remedies have been curing people without horrifying side effects. And that's when I realized my mistake was trying to find a solution in modern medicine, which is arguably even more corrupt today than it was back then. So how could one man discover so many all-natural cures within Mother Nature when Big Pharma spends billions of dollars on expensive R&D to do exactly that? I studied other ancient herbalists. I traced the evolution of herbal cures through the ages. In the 1960s, another natural healing genius emerged, Dr. Michael Tierra. He immersed himself in nature to find true cures for our ailments while studying with the Karok and Yurok Indian tribes. He even journeyed deep into the heart of India to study Ayurvedic medicine from their greatest teachers and healers, and bravely trekked through communist China at the height of Mao Zedong's power to continue building upon his knowledge, to study and learn with the greatest natural healers along an unbroken chain that was thousands of years long, and then bring these amazing secrets of natural healing to the Western world. Dr. Tierra translated all of his ancient herbal knowledge into a language that regular people can understand, just like his predecessor, Culpeper, did. But I was lucky enough to discover their teachings and begin to apply them to my own life. It turned out the actual solutions to my own health issues and those of my mother didn't involve taking pills from a doctor. They didn't involve uncomfortable or deadly side effects, and they definitely didn't involve surgery. As I went through every article, book, and interview I could find, I scribbled notes until my hand cramped. And as my mother and I began to test these natural healing secrets, we noticed slight improvements. But I knew my work wasn't done yet. What we needed was the extra strength version of these natural cures. Because as people living in the modern Western world, we live in a toxic environment. Unlike ancient Indian tribes or Chinese villagers, we've been exposed our whole lives to pollutants, pesticides, processed foods, harmful chemicals in our water. even the chemicals in plastic water bottles have been shown to lower men's testosterone levels. In other words, we require a stronger, more potent form of the ancient cures. That's when we advised my mother to approach a local dietitian to see if we could add aspects of modern medicine with natural remedies to come up with a one-of-a-kind solution. Ultimately, if I could combine what I'd learned from the ancient herbalists with the integrated methods used from the local dietitian, I could come up with a complete set of all-natural cures that would work for people today. And that's exactly what I did. I must admit, the process took a while, and the results were not impressive at first, but we pressed on, and we started to refine our procedure and improve it. I had one main criteria. It must cure the problem, not just treat the symptoms, and the only side effects allowed would be the ones we want. Fast forward a few weeks, my mother's high blood pressure was actually subsiding, and she was no longer reliant on prescription medication. On top of that, she was also feeling more vibrant, energetic, and youthful because she actually lost close to 15 pounds. My own health problems were also a thing of the past. And soon our friends and family members were dropping by for medical advice, hoping to find a path to escape their own prescription hell. I began to test and tweak my results with each person who approached me, developing new ideas and combinations. My own group of test subjects not only told me that their symptoms vanished, they also reported extra benefits, such as higher energy levels, improved mood, reduced aches and pains, a greater overall sense of calm and well-being, and even losing weight without dieting or exercise. Now, my mom and I were no longer just surviving in between doctor visits. We now had total control over our health and our destiny. And the best news is that our family is finally closer than we've ever been now that we have our mother back. Because we are finally free from the chains of Big Pharma, free at last from the debilitating pain that had kept us prisoners in our own home. We now no longer live in fear of the next terrible side effect. Would you want to take a pill that comes with side effects like rash, gastrointestinal ulcerations, abdominal pain, upset stomach, heartburn, drowsiness, headache, cramping, nausea, gastritis, and bleeding? Or how about this warning? Stop using this medication and call your doctor at once if you experience any of these side effects: black, bloody, or tarry stools, coughing up blood or vomit that looks like coffee grounds, severe nausea, vomiting, or stomach pain, fever lasting longer than 3 days, swelling or pain lasting longer than 10 days, or hearing problems or ringing in your ears. You'd think those would be the side effects of some super powerful drug prescribed to seriously ill patients, right? Nope, that's just for aspirin, which most of us take without even thinking. So you can only imagine the harm we do to ourselves when we stay on the Big Pharma hamster wheel. I can tell you from first-hand experience, there is nothing like living a life of freedom without the need to be chained to expensive prescription drugs and their horrendous side effects. My mother and I can now enjoy taking long walks in the sunshine every day now. It's coming up close to 1 year since she reversed her high blood pressure. She hasn't needed a single pill since. I can now go to the park every Saturday with the family, and when we come home, we're covered in grass stains, laughing about the great time we had. We now lead a life that is 100% drug-free and all natural. My best friend David will always be with me in my heart. Losing him was a wound that can never fully heal. But every time we use these natural health secrets to keep ourselves happy, healthy, and youthful, instead of going to the pharmacy and filling a prescription that will only make us sicker and poorer, I feel that we're honoring David's memory. I also believe he'd be proud of me for this next part, because now I'm ready to share these secrets with you. I call it prescription freedom. Everything you need to know to reverse your cure and ailments today without prescriptions is inside this digital course, which you can view immediately on your computer, smartphone, or tablet. This course will hold you by the hand and walk you through the steps, so within moments of getting your hands on it, you'll be able to discover the real reasons behind your ailments and why the actual solution is so much simpler, cheaper, and safer than taking prescription medication. And to make sure your success is guaranteed, you can even contact us anytime you want to ask a question about the course or about your situation. This is really just the tip of the iceberg, because I don't want to go on forever. I can only tell you about 10% of what you'll discover inside the full course. Remember, this is the only course on the market that shows you the ancient herbal cures used by the greatest healers in history, from India to England, from China to California. And I have no doubt it can work for you, regardless of your age, gender, or ethnicity. The reason for this is simple. Prescription freedom solves the problem at a core level. It is not a temporary fix or a Band-Aid. And once your health issues are reversed and resolved at the core level, you will no longer feel the crushing strain of being chained to your expensive prescription medication. Soon you'll be finally free from the embarrassment, the shame, the frustration, the nagging sense that you're just not healthy enough. Soon you'll be able to stand proud, tall, and confident, knowing nothing can keep you down. Soon you'll be able to take that dream vacation you've always wanted so you can start spending your hard-earned money on things that bring you happiness. Gone will be the days of missing out on fun activities or special occasions because you aren't feeling up to it. Gone will be the days of uncertainty, worrying about how much longer your health, or what's left of it, will hold up. You'll have peace of mind, knowing you're not going to leave your family behind when they need you the most, and they won't be going anywhere either. Wouldn't that be an amazing feeling? Instead of the frustration and worry you're suffering from right now, because you know you deserve better than this, and so does your family. So let me ask you, what's going to happen to your family if you don't take action today and break the chains of Big Pharma? How many more excuses can you come up with to hide how weak and tired you feel all the time? How much more disappointment and worry do you want your family to endure? How much more time and money do you want to waste on treating symptoms when you could cure the core problem and reverse your ailments naturally once and for all? Let's face it, your health issues aren't some small problem you can ignore. You can't just hope it goes away, because it's eating away at the energy and vitality you once had. It eats away at your confidence, too, and your ability to be productive and help your family. You also know deep down that if you ignore the problem, it'll only get worse. Eventually, it will send you to an early grave, costing you everything you hold dear. When you look at the costs associated with being on the prescription hamster wheel, it can be completely devastating, physically, emotionally, and financially. Trust me, I learned the hard way, and my best friend paid the ultimate price. You know my own experiences with fighting the prescription drug demon and what I had to go through to make sure you don't suffer like my family did. So let me ask you a serious question. What kind of value would you place on a simple home study course that will eradicate your prescription bills forever and give you back all the time you spend at the pharmacy and at doctor's offices sitting around in those depressing waiting rooms, so that you can spend that time living your life to the very fullest every day? Many people would gladly pay a fortune for that privilege. And just think about the time and money you may have already wasted on pills, then more pills to fight those side effects. Some have told me that they've already spent a lot more than $1,997 just paying for expensive prescription medication that would only treat the symptoms of their problems. But I'm not like my greedy competitors or just in it to cash in on people's experienced hardship. So don't worry, there's no way I'm going to ask you to pay that kind of price. I'm just a regular person like you, and I know what you're going through. The only difference is I was lucky enough to stumble upon the amazing natural healing secrets that allowed me to develop this life-changing course. So I'm not going to ask you to pay $1,997. It won't be $997. It won't even be $197. Look below this video and you'll see the incredible discount we've worked out for you today. And keep in mind, this is a one-time only, fully refundable deposit. It's the bare minimum I need to cover the costs of keeping this website online. Please understand, I do need to pay monthly website costs, as well as pay our friendly customer support team to assist your progress. But in the event that you're not wildly thrilled with the results you get from prescription freedom, your deposit is 100% refundable. You can email us and get every penny back at any time over the next 60 days. I recommend that you access the course, swipe the secrets, try it for yourself, and then decide whether you want your deposit back. You've got a full 60 days to do so. As you can see, I've removed all the risk from you and put it on my own shoulders. If you wish to have your deposit returned to you in full, all you need to do is send us an email. You'll see how to contact our friendly customer support team once you enter our members area and get access to the course. So just to put you totally at ease and make this a no-brainer, here's our ironclad 100% money-back guarantee. If prescription freedom doesn't give you the kind of results I am promising you, and I'm not talking about you feeling just a little better, I'm talking about you experiencing a whole new world of joy, health, and energy, and a zest for life that you haven't felt in years, then I insist that you email my 24-hour customer support team at any time over the next 60 days and ask to have your deposit returned in full. You'll get it back, every penny, no questions asked. Remember, just in case you aren't thrilled beyond your greatest expectations, you have an entire 2 months or a full 60 days to ask for your refundable deposit to be returned. Now, since you've watched this far, I know this is sounding good to you. It probably sounds amazing, and I know you're just about ready to take action. But I want to sweeten the deal even more by giving you the following fast action bonuses when you try Prescription Freedom today. Fast action bonus number 1. Turn back the clock. Special report, a $97 value. This eye-opening guide is an absolute must if you want to stop your mind, body, and physical appearance from being affected by the ravages of Father Time. In this bonus guide, which is only for those who try out Prescription Freedom, we share little-known, all-natural strategies that will not only radically expand your lifespan and keep you feeling loose, limber, and overflowing with youthful energy, they'll also keep you looking far younger than your years, so that people will be flat-out shocked when they learn your true age and begging to know your secret. Then there's Fast Action Bonus number 2, the All-Natural Immune System Booster. In your next free bonus, you'll discover how to boost your immune system to its full potential. The key lies in boosting your immune system, which is like the palace guard that protects you from unwelcome intruders and assassins. Use these simple booster tricks and you'll rewire your body to stop diseases and harmful bacteria from ever breaching your palace walls, so that you won't need prescriptions or visits to the doctor to deal with illnesses, because you simply will not have any. Your immune system will shut down all threats before they become a problem. Fast action bonus number 3, wake up winning. Be honest. When you wake up most mornings, would you rather crawl back under the covers, or are you excited for the start of a new day? Inside the Wake Up Winning bonus, you'll learn simple jump starter techniques that will instantly and naturally boost your energy and mood and program you for all-day productivity and success. Even better, you'll know how to activate the healing channels of your body in just seconds without needing coffee or pills to get yourself going. Follow this easy step-by-step routine for just a few days, and you'll also naturally supercharge your body's healing abilities, so that the invisible damage that's been done to you by the pills and medications of the past will be reversed even faster. Let me remind you of the free extra bonuses you're going to instantly receive when you try out Prescription Freedom today. Turn back the clock, the anti-aging miracle, the all-natural immune system booster, and wake up winning. Remember, those are just the bonuses you get on top of the Prescription Freedom main course, which you can try out right now, totally risk-free. This is the only course that reverses your ailments while keeping you drug-free, because it attacks and eliminates the root causes of the problem. And just in case you decide to ask for your deposit to be returned, you'll still get to keep the Prescription Freedom course, along with all the bonuses. That's the least I can do to thank you for watching this presentation and giving this a try. On the next page, you'll submit your fully refundable deposit through our secure checkout page. Your payment details and personal information will be kept completely confidential, because the checkout page you'll see in a moment is encrypted with the latest 256-bit encryption technology. And to further protect your privacy, nothing about Prescription Freedom will appear on your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from clickbank.com, which is the secure online retailer that we use. But you do need to act now. This exact same offer may not be here tomorrow. This means that if you exit this page and don't grab this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you may be closing the door forever on the only tried-and-true, all-natural health solution. But we both know you don't want to remain a slave to Big Pharma. You don't want that for yourself or your loved ones. Do you really want to pay Big Pharma for the rest of your life and suffer from the horrendous side effects of their medication? And remember, the instant you run out of money to afford their medications, they aren't going to give you any more free, even if your life is literally at stake. This is why you know you must choose the path to freedom. So now it's time for you to click the big, shiny, inviting order button below. You'll be taken to the checkout form on the next page, where you'll fill out a few details and get instant access to the complete Prescription Freedom course, plus all of the fast action bonuses. I look forward to you being our next success story. And hey, a few days from now, feel free to send me an email and tell me about the results you're already seeing and feeling, because I have no doubt you can be our next success story. Who knows, you might be able to finally get off your expensive prescription medications and finally be able to get out of the house, do your own shopping, and live a happy, pain-free life once again. This is the power of prescription freedom. It literally saves families and changes lives. And if you simply give it a shot, I'm sure it will transform your life for the better just moments from now. So what are you waiting for? Click the order button below and complete the checkout process. It only takes 30 seconds to fill out the form on the next page, and within 60 seconds you'll have the complete Prescription Freedom course, including all of the valuable bonuses in front of you on your screen. Right now, you've got 3 options. Option 1. You can leave this page and continue to live your life as usual, knowing that you'll have to keep dealing with the side effects of prescription medications, trips to the pharmacies and doctors, many of whom are in the back pocket of Big Pharma, and the insanely overinflated costs. And you know this will only lead to more worry, frustration, sadness, and pain. What it won't lead to is freedom. Then there's option 2. You can use the knowledge you've gained from this presentation to wing it and try to figure this out on your own. But let's face it, unless you know the exact all-natural secrets you're about to discover inside Prescription Freedom, no amount of trial and error is going to permanently fix the real underlying issue behind your ailments. And why would you even want to experiment and possibly make your problem even worse when Prescription Freedom removes all of the guesswork and literally hands you the solution? And then you have option 3. You can try out Prescription Freedom today and fix yourself once and for all by taking advantage of this incredibly generous limited-time offer. You'll get the complete Prescription Freedom course, plus the full bonus package, all for one low refundable deposit. Simply click the order button below and complete your checkout process. If you watch this far, you must be convinced of 2 things. 1. You know you can't afford to wait another day to handle your health issues and fix them once and for all. And why would you want to wait when this easy, all-natural fix is waiting for you on the next page? 2. You know that because this offer is completely risk-free, it simply wouldn't make sense to pass up this opportunity or tell yourself, maybe later. The next time you try to visit this website, it might very well be gone. Now is the time to reclaim your health and freedom. Click the button below. Take a few seconds to fill out the short form on the next page and discover all of these natural healing secrets. Don't forget, our checkout page is 100% safe and secure, and your details will be kept totally confidential. Click the button below and take action right now. Don't wait any longer. You've been held back too long by the chains of the pharmaceutical industry, tying you to their expensive medications. Now is the time to take charge and reclaim your happiness, health, and freedom. Today is the day that you break the chains and take charge of your health and your future, so that the only people who lose out are the people that left this page without giving it a risk-free trial. And you too can join the ranks of our grateful students who are finally free. So don't hesitate for another second. Click the button below and let's get started.